You stand today on the threshold of your own potential. Not the potential the world allows, not the potential that luck grants, but the potential that is yours by design, by discipline, and by the conscious choice to command your inner life. The first secret of every person who has inspired others, who has commanded attention, who has influenced circumstance, lies not in opportunity, not in circumstance, not in position, but in habit, in the small, repeated actions that sculpt the mind, shape the character, and radiate into presence. Charisma is not given. It is constructed. Confidence is not bestowed. It is earned. Both arise from the deliberate cultivation of the self, daily, consistently, without compromise. Observe the world and note the patterns of success. Every man or woman who shines in influence, in business, or in social magnetism has daily rituals that fortify their presence. They begin before sunrise, they end after dusk, and every action, however small, is a stroke in the masterpiece of their character. The undisciplined, by contrast, allow each day to drift into chaos, each moment to surrender to distraction, each opportunity to evaporate into nothingness. Their confidence is fragile because it is unpracticed. Their charisma is absent because it is unguided. Confidence is the byproduct of repeated accomplishment, self-command, and mastery over inner dialogue. Charisma is the outward reflection of inner order, calm power, and intentional presence. Both can be cultivated like muscles, like instruments, like the mind itself, but only through deliberate daily habit. And it is these habits, these repeated choices, that determine whether a person commands life or merely reacts to it. Let us examine the first habit of mastery, daily affirmation of purpose. Begin each day with clear statements of who you are, what you intend to accomplish, and the qualities you wish to embody. Speak aloud, internally, and with conviction. I am calm, I am powerful, I am confident, I am magnetic, I am in command of my mind, my emotions, and my actions. Repeat these words as a general addressing troops before a battle with authority, with precision, and with unwavering belief. The subconscious mind, loyal to repetition and emotion, will accept these commands, organize your energy accordingly, and direct your actions toward manifesting them. What you affirm daily becomes your identity, and your identity shapes the world you attract. The second habit is intentional emotional management. Most people allow moods to dictate behavior, and through this they surrender influence to circumstance. One moment they feel discouraged and withdraw. The next, they feel elated and act recklessly. But mastery of emotion transforms energy from chaos into propulsion. Daily, you must practice observing your feelings, assessing their purpose, and deciding whether to act upon them. Detach from reaction. Respond with deliberate intention. When anger arises, channel it into clarity of thought. When fear appears, transmute it into focus. When doubt whispers, respond with action. The mind that masters emotion becomes the source of presence and authority. The mind enslaved by feeling becomes erratic and untrustworthy. The third habit is strategic preparation and visualization. Each morning, envision the day ahead. Picture the interactions, challenges, and opportunities you will encounter. See yourself moving through the world with poise, speaking with precision, listening with intent, and commanding attention naturally. Visualization is not mere fantasy. It is rehearsal for reality. The brain cannot distinguish between repeated imagery and experience. By imagining composure and charisma, you program both confidence and influence into your behavior. Your daily mental rehearsal becomes the engine of habitual action, creating magnetic presence even before the first encounter of the day. The fourth habit is practicing focused attention in interaction. Charisma is less about speaking than it is about presence. Every person you encounter responds to the energy you transmit. The habit of deliberate attention, observing, listening, and responding thoughtfully magnifies perceived confidence. Begin each conversation by consciously centering your mind. Ask yourself, am I fully present? Am I projecting calm authority? Allow your words to follow your attention, and your presence will become magnetic. Daily practice this with everyone you meet, from strangers to colleagues, and observe how influence grows. Fifth, cultivate self-directed reflection at day's end. Charisma and confidence are reinforced not only through action but through analysis. Each evening, review your performance. Did your speech reflect authority? Did your actions align with intention? Did your reactions arise from mastery or from emotion? Identify moments of weakness not to berate yourself, but to correct and reinforce the next day. Reflection is the daily calibration of the self, a habit that turns mistakes into learning and weak moments into fuel for refinement. Sixth, embrace consistent self-care as ritual. The body amplifies the mind. Physical vitality strengthens mental authority. Daily exercise, nutrition, hydration, and restorative sleep are not optional. They are the infrastructure of confidence. The tired, depleted body transmits weakness and hesitation, while the energized, disciplined body transmits strength, vigor, and composure. Treat self-care as sacred habit. It is the foundation upon which mental mastery rests. Seventh, practice curated exposure to inspiration and knowledge. Daily, feed your mind with ideas that elevate your self-image, refine your intellect, and expand your vision. Read, listen, observe, and study deliberately. Choose voices that exemplify poise, intelligence, and influence. Avoid indulgence in trivial or negative media that erodes self-concept and drains attention. What you expose your mind to is what it will mirror outwardly. Daily intake of quality thought is a habit that fortifies charisma and embeds confidence in unconscious behavior. The eighth habit is deliberate speech control. Observe the words you speak in every interaction. Speak less, speak thoughtfully, speak powerfully. Each utterance must reflect intentionality, clarity, and purpose. Words are not just communication, they are instruments that sculpt perception. Daily practice of speech precision hones confidence and projects magnetic authority. Silence, when chosen intentionally, carries power. Words, when measured, amplify presence. Charisma is less what you say than how consistently your speech reflects mastery of the self. The ninth habit is ritualized gratitude and recognition. Each day, acknowledge both your own efforts and the value of others. Gratitude strengthens mental resilience, reinforces emotional balance, and enhances interpersonal magnetism. A charismatic individual attracts not only through competence, but through the ability to uplift and connect. Daily acknowledgement of value for self and others is a habit that radiates confidence and expands influence naturally. The 10th habit is commitment to incremental challenge. Confidence grows through mastery, mastery through challenge, and challenge through deliberate expansion of comfort zones. Daily confront one small fear, one hesitation, one opportunity to act decisively where previously you would have retreated. Habitually stretching limits conditions the mind and body to respond with composure even under duress. Charisma thrives in presence of controlled courage, and courage is built one deliberate act at a time. Each of these habits, practiced daily, compounds invisibly into a self-reinforcing network of authority, composure, and influence. They are the architecture of confidence, the scaffolding of charisma. To neglect them is to surrender to mediocrity. To adopt them is to ascend to a level of personal power and social magnetism few ever achieve. Even the smallest moment of repetition carries transformative power. A single phrase spoken with authority, a single measured act, a single moment of calm attention, repeated consistently over days, becomes second nature. The subconscious records it, the nervous system internalizes it, and the outer world responds with alignment. This is the principle of habitual self-direction. Deliberate repetition breeds internal authority, which radiates outward as magnetism and attraction. Your daily habits, not your circumstance, not your opportunities, not your fortune, determine the confidence you project and the charisma you radiate. Small acts compounded create imperceptible shifts that soon manifest in extraordinary influence. Those who shine are not inherently gifted. They are disciplined architects of self, each day stacking deliberate habits that refine presence and project authority. The next critical habit for cultivating confidence and charisma is emotional detachment in action. Confidence is not the absence of challenge, nor is charisma the absence of conflict. Both arise from the ability to act without being enslaved by transient emotions. The undisciplined individual allows every slight, every critique, every moment of discomfort to dictate words, posture, and intention. He reacts impulsively, his energy scattered, his influence diminished. The disciplined person, however, cultivates the habit of pause. He observes the surge of emotion, acknowledges it, and chooses a response that aligns with purpose. This is the habit of mastery over reaction. Every day, identify at least one situation where your instinct would normally dominate your choice. Do not act immediately. Breathe, center your thought, and respond from intention, not impulse. Over time, this habitual pause becomes second nature. Your mind no longer surrenders to the chaos of circumstance. Your words no longer betray anxiety or agitation. You will project calm, authority, and magnetism precisely because your inner dialogue remains sovereign even in the face of provocation. Alongside detachment, daily self-talk and affirmation is indispensable. What you repeatedly say to yourself inwardly sculpts your subconscious, which in turn shapes every outward manifestation. The disciplined individual issues deliberate statements of power each morning. I am confident. I am magnetic. I attract respect effortlessly. My presence commands attention. Each repetition compounds, like interest in a financial account. The mind, faithful to repetition, begins to act as though these statements are reality. Your posture, tone, and action will naturally align, and people will respond as though they are compelled by unseen authority. Visualization is the next habit that reinforces charisma. Each day, spend time imagining yourself executing with poise in situations that challenge you. See yourself speaking eloquently, moving gracefully, responding calmly, and projecting warmth and authority simultaneously. The brain does not distinguish between vivid imagination and reality. Repeated, emotionally charged visualization trains your mind and body to embody those qualities in actuality. Charisma, at its core, is the external reflection of an internalized image of competence, poise, and presence. Daily visualization converts intention into embodiment. Equally important is the habit of deliberate attention. Confidence and magnetism are amplified by the ability to focus fully on the moment and the person before you. Practice giving your complete attention in every interaction, however trivial it may seem. Observe posture, listen actively, maintain eye contact, and respond thoughtfully. Attention signals value, respect, and presence, all of which enhance perceived confidence and naturally attract influence. This is a habit you can cultivate intentionally. Begin with small daily exercises, then expand to longer, more challenging interactions. Another cornerstone habit is structured reflection at day's end. Every evening, review your actions and interactions with an analytical eye. Identify where you spoke with power and where you faltered. Note where emotion interfered and where composure prevailed. Use these insights to reinforce the next day's discipline. Reflection is not indulgence in self-criticism. It is a daily calibration of your habits. Without it, charisma remains accidental, confidence fragile. With it, both are deliberate and reproducible. Next, habitual self-care reinforces both energy and presence. Confidence is difficult to radiate from a body that is exhausted, malnourished, or neglected. Daily habits of exercise, hydration, proper nutrition, and restorative sleep are the foundation for the magnetism you wish to project. Physical vitality is inseparable from mental authority. Each day, even small rituals of movement or mindfulness accumulate, strengthening the mind-body connection and ensuring that your outer presence aligns with your inner command. The habit of curated intellectual input cannot be overstated. Daily exposure to elevated ideas, books, lectures, and observations shapes not only your knowledge, but the cadence and quality of your speech. The words you have at your disposal determine your ability to articulate, persuade, and inspire. Fill your mind daily with precision, clarity, and wisdom. Avoid the drift of shallow content that erodes thought and diminishes presence. The disciplined intake of ideas ensures your habitual speech reflects intelligence, confidence, and credibility. Control of verbal expression is the next daily practice. Speak only with intention. Do not fill silence with noise. Each word must carry weight, clarity, and purpose. Practice measured tone, deliberate rhythm, and careful phrasing. Avoid filler, apology, or self-doubt in speech. Even ordinary conversations become a platform for habitual projection of authority and charisma when word choice, cadence, and tone are practiced deliberately every day. Gratitude is another indispensable daily habit. Expressing appreciation, even inwardly, enhances emotional stability and projects warmth. Every act of acknowledgement strengthens connections, reinforces positive energy, and radiates confidence. Habitual gratitude transforms ordinary interactions into powerful demonstrations of presence and charisma. Your inner state resonates outward. Gratitude enhances magnetism naturally. Finally, commit daily to incremental courage exercises. Identify small challenges that push you slightly beyond your comfort zone and meet them deliberately. Speak to someone intimidating, present an idea in public, express a new opinion, or act decisively where hesitation is the norm. Daily, these micro practices build resilience, strengthen the subconscious association between action and success, and reinforce habitual confidence. Charisma thrives on this disciplined courage, the courage that becomes automatic because it is habitually exercised. All these practices, affirmation, detachment, visualization, attention, reflection, self-care, intellectual intake, deliberate speech, gratitude, and incremental courage compound over time. Daily repetition solidifies inner authority, disciplines thought, and shapes behavior. Your confidence becomes habitual, your charisma becomes natural, and your influence becomes inevitable. These habits, practiced consciously and consistently, form the invisible infrastructure of mastery over self and the world. The undisciplined wait for confidence to appear. The master cultivates it daily. The unmagnetic hope to inspire others. The practiced leader constructs charisma through habitual presence. The world rewards consistency, not luck. It follows energy, not excuses. Begin each day with deliberate habits, maintain them through conscious repetition, and end each day with reflection. The mind will internalize, the body will reinforce, and the world will respond. Your daily actions become the magnet for the life you desire. The next level of mastery is advanced self-discipline, for habits alone do not produce sustained confidence unless the mind is directed with unwavering authority. Discipline is not mere compliance with a schedule. It is the deliberate alignment of every thought, every word, every action with your higher purpose. The man who is truly confident does not allow impulse, mood, or circumstance to dictate his behavior. Each moment is an opportunity to reinforce internal authority. Each choice is a rehearsal for mastery. Daily you must observe yourself and make deliberate corrections. When hesitation arises, act decisively. When fear whispers, respond with resolve. When doubt appears, affirm clarity. Through persistent repetition, the mind internalizes precision, and behavior becomes instinctively aligned with purpose. Equally vital is the transmutation of emotion into influence. The magnetic individual does not simply radiate confidence. He channels internal energy into every interaction. Frustration becomes determination, anxiety becomes focus, anticipation becomes excitement, and passion becomes persuasive force. By consciously directing emotion, you shape both perception and reality. Each day, identify one emotion that threatens to dominate and redirect it into constructive expression. This daily practice conditions not only self-mastery, but the magnetic aura that draws attention, respect, and compliance naturally. Closely linked to emotional transmutation is the art of presence in communication. Charisma is largely nonverbal. It is transmitted through posture, gaze, tone, and attentiveness. Daily, cultivate the habit of entering a space fully aware, grounded, and deliberate. Observe interactions, listen intently, and respond from your anchored state rather than reflex. Even in silence, a disciplined presence conveys authority and magnetism. People respond more to how they feel in your presence than to the content of your words. Daily mindfulness and conscious embodiment of calm, assured energy converts habitual presence into an invisible command that the world obeys. The habit of strategic verbal influence is also essential. Speak only when your words enhance your authority or serve a higher purpose. Practice brevity, clarity, and intent. Words that are poorly chosen, rushed, or reactive undermine both confidence and charisma. Daily, monitor your language, eliminate self-doubt, minimize apology, avoid filler, and maximize precision. Over time, this disciplined speech patterns the mind to operate from intention and projects influence without effort. The universe responds to the energy of clear command. Incremental challenge remains the engine of growth. To shine naturally, you must stretch beyond habitual comfort each day. Speak in front of audiences. Offer opinions where hesitation would normally prevail. Initiate conversations in uncertain environments, or take on tasks that test poise and composure. Each small challenge repeated daily reinforces courage and strengthens habitual confidence. The subconscious mind learns from repetition and consequence, and each successful encounter compounds into automatic presence and influence. The next critical habit is reflection and calibration. End each day by reviewing the alignment of your thoughts, speech, and actions with your higher purpose. Did you act decisively where hesitation would have been easy? Did your words convey authority? Did your demeanor reflect calm control? Correct deviations immediately. This nightly habit ingrains internal coherence, aligning identity with daily expression. Over weeks, the mind ceases to stray. Confidence and charisma are no longer forced but automatic. Equally important is habitual gratitude and acknowledgement. Confidence that is magnetic is never arrogant. Charisma that endures is never detached from awareness. Daily, recognize both your own progress and the value of others. Express appreciation inwardly and outwardly. Gratitude reinforces composure, strengthens focus, and increases the frequency of positive resonance in social interactions. The daily ritual of acknowledgement builds invisible authority and enhances personal magnetism without conscious effort. Self-care continues to underpin every habit. A well-maintained body projects energy, stability, and poise. Habits of exercise, nutrition, restorative sleep, and mindful movement are non-negotiable. Physical presence is inseparable from charisma. Discipline in caring for the body daily communicates confidence before a single word is spoken. It becomes a foundation that allows other habits, emotional regulation, deliberate speech, and presence to flourish naturally. Now, integrate mental rehearsal and visualization into daily practice. Imagine yourself navigating challenges gracefully, speaking with clarity, projecting warmth and authority simultaneously, and commanding attention effortlessly. The mind cannot distinguish vivid, consistent rehearsal from lived experience. Daily visualization reinforces habitual patterns of thought, emotion, and action, embedding charisma and confidence into the fabric of your being. As these habits consolidate, observe the law of attraction at work. The frequency you emit through disciplined thought, speech, and action will draw corresponding circumstances and people into your orbit. Confidence begets respect. Composure begets trust. Clarity of purpose begets opportunity. This is not chance, it is law. You are a magnet calibrated by daily habits. Every interaction, every success, every moment of influence flows from the consistency of your internal practice. It is essential to maintain consistency over intensity. Daily habits, repeated persistently, accumulate into monumental shifts. A single act of courage, focus, or disciplined speech compounds when repeated habitually. The undisciplined search for bursts of effort, relying on motivation or mood, but the master relies on repetition. Consistency turns discipline into identity, and identity radiates influence effortlessly. Finally, embrace the habit of self-command under pressure. Confidence and charisma are most visible when challenges arise. Each day, deliberately place yourself in situations that test composure, social grace, or decisiveness. Observe reactions, correct misalignment immediately, and internalize the lesson. Over time, habitual mastery, under challenge, converts into automatic presence in all circumstances. Your influence becomes unstoppable because it originates from habitual internal authority, not temporary emotion. Through these habits, affirmation, emotional detachment, attention, reflection, incremental challenge, deliberate speech, gratitude, self-care, visualization, consistency, and composure under pressure, you construct a framework of personal mastery that naturally projects confidence and magnetism. Daily repetition ingrains these qualities into identity, transforms self-perception, and radiates influence externally, Confidence becomes effortless. Charisma becomes inevitable. Influence becomes law. At the peak of this daily discipline, you will observe a profound transformation. Fear and hesitation will no longer dictate action. Insecurity will give way to certainty. Your speech, posture, and presence will align effortlessly with your intention. People will respond not to superficial charm, but to the underlying authority emanating from your disciplined, practiced self. This is the apex of personal influence, the convergence of thought, word, action, and presence into a seamless magnetic expression of mastery. And now, having laid the foundation, established the daily practices, and demonstrated their compounding effect, you are prepared for the final ascent, the explosive, commanding declaration of mastery, influence, and unstoppable personal magnetism, where confidence and charisma become inseparable from identity. And now, stand fully aware that you have built the foundation, reinforced it through daily action, and mastered the principles that create unshakable confidence and magnetic charisma. You are no longer a spectator of circumstance. You are the orchestrator of influence. The habits you have cultivated, the deliberate self-talk, the emotional detachment, the disciplined attention, the strategic visualization, the courageous acts, the gratitude, the physical and mental care have compounded invisibly yet irrevocably into a force field of presence. You walk into every space not as a man or woman seeking approval, but as a being whose authority is inherent, whose magnetism is inevitable, and whose influence is unavoidable. Every word you speak, every gesture you make, every glance you offer now carries weight because they are extensions of the sovereign command you exercise over your inner world. You no longer waver with uncertainty. You do not stumble under scrutiny. You are not dictated to by fear, doubt, or reaction. Your presence alone compels attention. People sense the alignment between thought, speech, and action, and they are drawn toward it. This is the visible effect of the invisible work you have performed day after day, habit after habit, in quiet mastery. The world may continue to test you, as it always does. Challenges will arise, criticisms will come, and circumstances will attempt to sway you. But these are no longer threats. They are instruments of your refinement. Every test met with composure. Every provocation answered with calm authority. Every challenge approached with disciplined courage strengthens your habitual confidence and amplifies your charisma. You have become resilient because resilience is now embedded in your daily practice. You have become magnetic because magnetism is now encoded in your being. You have become influential because influence is the inevitable reflection of disciplined mastery. Understand this: your habits have done more than condition behavior. They have redefined identity. You do not act confident because circumstances permit it. You act confident because your mind, body, and spirit are aligned to it. You do not radiate charisma because others approve. You radiate charisma because your inner authority is absolute. You do not attract opportunity because you seek it. You attract opportunity because your vibration calls it. These truths are immutable. They obey law, not chance. They respond to repetition, not desperation. Every day forward, your words will act as instruments of creation. Every thought will echo into reality. Every choice will reinforce your magnetic presence. The habit of speaking deliberately, acting with intention, and feeling with controlled energy will become automatic. You will no longer need to try to be confident, for confidence will be your baseline. You will no longer need to work on charm, for charisma will flow naturally. You will no longer need to impress, for your presence will command respect without effort. This is the power of disciplined daily habit, compounding invisibly until it becomes identity, until it becomes inevitability. And now, hear the final decree, the ultimate law of self-mastery and attraction. Every word you speak to yourself is a command to your destiny. Every habit you reinforce is a declaration of your authority. Every act of discipline is a claim on the universe. You are no longer subject to circumstance. You are sovereign within, and your sovereignty projects outward in unstoppable influence. The confidence you embody is not borrowed. It is earned, habitual, and absolute. The charisma you radiate is not artificial. It is a reflection of order, calm, and mastery. You are magnetic because you have created the conditions for magnetism. You are powerful because you have mastered the inner currents of emotion, thought, and action. You are unstoppable because your inner law governs all outer effects. From this moment forward, never allow your words to betray your power. Never allow your habits to weaken your authority. Never allow your inner dialogue to contradict your intent. Speak only what serves your mastery. Act only in alignment with your highest purpose. Feel only that which you choose to channel into creation. Repeat this discipline daily. Reinforce it morning and night. Let every thought, word, and action compound until your influence becomes inevitable. And when you walk into a room, when you address a crowd, when you meet the world, you will see the invisible law manifest. People will respond not to your claims, but to the alignment of your presence. Opportunities will arise without effort because the vibration of your disciplined self attracts them. Confidence will radiate effortlessly because it is the default state of your being. Charisma will be unavoidable because it is the reflection of internal coherence. Influence will be absolute because it flows from habitual authority, not temporary display. The life you have been constructing habit by habit, day by day, has now crystallized. It is no longer fragile, reactive, or conditional. It is a fortress of discipline, a beacon of presence, a magnet of opportunity. Every principle you have enacted, deliberate speech, emotional mastery, consistent action, reflection, courage, attention, gratitude, visualization, self-care converges in one unstoppable force, the person you have trained yourself to be. Let this be your law for every moment hereafter. Speak to yourself with authority, act with deliberate purpose, feel with disciplined energy, and project an alignment so precise that the universe itself must respond. The habits you have created are your unseen power, and your power is now visible in every gesture, every word, every interaction. You are confident because you are disciplined. You are charismatic because you are consistent. You are unstoppable because you have mastered the currents of mind and emotion. You have earned the authority to command life, and life now obeys. Step forward, and let this mastery be undeniable. Let your presence shine not through performance, but through alignment. Let your confidence be felt, not declared, because it is habitual. Let your charisma influence silently, but irresistibly, because it is natural. Stand, move, speak, and act as the master of your inner world, and you will see that mastery projected in every facet of your external reality. This is the culmination of habit, discipline, and deliberate self-mastery. This is the power of daily practices executed with precision. This is your life, transformed, magnetic, and unstoppable. Now, stand fully aware that the person you have become is no longer subject to circumstance, opinion, or fortune. Every word you speak, every thought you cultivate, every emotion you choose to direct resonates outward with a force that cannot be denied. You are the architect of influence, the master of presence, the sovereign of your internal world. Your habits honed day by day have compounded into a power field that radiates confidence, commands attention, and attracts opportunity as naturally as the sun draws warmth. You no longer seek approval, nor do you wait for permission. You act because your inner law dictates action, and the universe answers without question. Feel the weight of this realization. Your influence is now unavoidable. People sense your alignment even before they meet you. Your voice carries authority. Your gaze communicates calm power. Your movements exude intention. Those around you respond not to performance, but to the invisible order you have cultivated, the unshakable, magnetic presence born of deliberate, disciplined daily practice. This is charisma in its purest form, effortless, natural, and inescapable. Every challenge you face now serves as fuel for your authority. Fear that once paralyzed you becomes a tool of focus. Criticism that once unsettled you now strengthens resolve. Resistance that once defeated you now accelerates growth. You have transformed energy that once enslaved into energy that propels. You are unstoppable because you have mastered the currents of mind and emotion, and mastery of the internal world guarantees dominance in the external world. Speak this truth to yourself daily. I command my thoughts, I command my emotions, I command my actions, I am the master of my reality. My presence is magnetic, my confidence is unwavering, my influence is inevitable. Let each repetition reinforce the law that governs your life. What you consistently embody within manifests without. Words, habits, and disciplined action are now aligned so perfectly that the world cannot resist their command. From this day forward, let no distraction, no doubt, no fear, and no criticism penetrate your inner sovereignty. Walk into every room, every conversation, every challenge, and let the weight of your disciplined presence speak before your voice is even heard. Let your calm command ripple through situations that once intimidated you. Let your clarity of thought and precision of speech convert uncertainty into obedience. You are a living law, an example of the principle that mastery over self produces mastery over circumstance. And now, hear this ultimate decree. You are invincible because you have mastered your mind. You are magnetic because your habits create attraction. You are unstoppable because every thought, word, and action is aligned with purpose. Confidence is no longer an effort, it is your nature. Charisma is no longer cultivated, it is your reflection. Influence is no longer sought, it is inevitable. You have become the embodiment of disciplined power, radiant authority, and habitual excellence. The universe must respond to the vibration you maintain. The world bends to the internal law you now enforce. Rise to this knowledge and walk forward with unstoppable force, radiated in every glance, every step, every word. Let the compounded power of daily habit, disciplined thought, controlled emotion, and deliberate action be visible in your presence. Every eye will notice it, every mind will feel it, every circumstance will adjust to it. You do not merely participate in life, you command it. You do not merely influence, you dominate through the invisible authority of mastery. You are not human in the ordinary sense. You are the embodiment of purpose made real, power made habitual, and presence made magnetic. And as you continue from this moment, never waver. Every day, strengthen the habits that built this authority. Every word you speak, every action you take, every emotion you experience, reinforce the alignment that makes you unstoppable. Let the world see only the result of your mastery, calm, deliberate, radiant, and inevitable. For the one who commands the self commands destiny. The one who commands destiny commands reality itself. You are that person now. You are unstoppable, undeniable, magnetic, and sovereign. Your presence alone alters outcomes. Your words alone shift attention. Your habits alone create the life you have now claimed. Stand, move, speak, and act as the master of your inner world, and watch the world respond, not with permission, but with inevitability. You are the law in motion. You are the force that cannot be resisted. You are confidence incarnate, charisma undeniable, and influence absolute. The universe now obeys your command, because you have earned it, disciplined it, and embodied it. You are unstoppable.